So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is sustainability and finding ways to make things work for you. Um, Something I see a lot of the time is I see people that try not to, or they try to do things a way or a certain way because they think that's the right way. Um, and so sometimes that's, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. But a lot of times there's variations of things. Squat technique, high bar versus low bar. Deadlift techniques, sumo versus conventional. Wide grip versus close grip or mid grip on bench. And these are just form variations, but different variations help serve different people better due to how you're made, your biomechanics, your leverages. And I don't really want to get too much into that, as I would want to get into things like, well, if I have to do cardio, I have to go run for 3 miles. Well, no, you don't. Or I have to go sit on a treadmill for 20 minutes. You don't have to do that either. If you don't like being inside, do your cardio outside. Find something outside that you enjoy. I don't like running, and I don't like being inside. So what I did was I got a road bike, and pretty much all my steady state cardio is exclusively done on the road bike. And I also don't really like doing too much steady state cardio. So I have HIIT cardio as well. And there's actually been a lot of studies that have shown that HIIT cardio does a lot of good things for you. And so I do both, and it allows me to have the opportunity to go out and do cardio, but to enjoy it. To be out in the sun, out and about, smell the fresh air, and not be stuck on a stair climber or, a treadmill or something like that inside the gym when I don't really want to be. There are going to be times, say, weather doesn't permit you to be outside and doing things, and you just got to suck it up and stick to the plan and deal with doing stuff inside, and that's okay. But you want to set yourself up for success. It doesn't only apply to things like cardio. I think dieting and lifestyle are a big part of this as well. And this might not necessarily be something competitors need to hear, but for general fitness people that are just trying to lose weight, a lot of times, you hit a fad diet, no carb, low carb, no fat, low fat, this, that, the other thing, and it requires you to change your entire life, your entire habits. And that it's not sustainable long term. And so when we look at dieting, we want everything to be sustainable long term. Some people, they need to lose weight fast, but the majority of us, when we diet, we have time. A healthy rate of fat loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week, or 1% of your body weight. That means we're sparing lean muscle tissue, which is what we want, because that's metabolically active and it causes us to burn more calories. So we want to keep as much lean body tissue. I think a lot of times one of the big issues we run into when we talk about weight loss is we call it weight loss. We don't call it fat loss, because I don't hear a lot of people that have issue with the fact that they have too much muscle. It's always that we have too much fat. And so we get stuck on the scale, we get stuck at looking at that number that's on there, instead of looking at something that would be more indicative, like waist circumference, what size your pants are, how are your clothes fitting. I've had plenty of people that I've worked with that I actually, their weight stayed the same, but their clothes got looser, pants that used to be really tight were now starting to get loose on them. And so even though their weight didn't change, how their body was composed, their body composition changed. More muscle. Obviously, muscle is a much denser than fat, and it a pound of muscle takes up a lot less space than fat does. So, but back to I digress on that. Back to the point is, you can't change everything overnight. You can try, you might get it for a little while, but it just doesn't last, you know? Start small. Small, steady steps are going to be sustainable. You know, say, you know what, I'm not going to change everything, but I can probably change from regular soda to diet soda, you know, something like that. Or, you know, I don't drink a lot of soda, I can probably deal with cutting that out and drinking water instead, you know, and then that way it gives you that. It's okay if you have a soda every once in a while, it's okay if you do a regular one, but that's not a huge ordeal, it's manageable. And then once that's done, then we can start looking at other things to do. Then we can start looking at, well, you know what, I'm not willing to give up my lasagna, but instead of giving up my lasagna, I'm going to use low-fat cheese in it, or whole wheat pasta, or something like that. Or finding other ways that can possibly reduce your total calories that you're spending on that. Which means you can have those calories for another place. Or if we are dieting and we are trying to lose weight, then it just cuts out more, you know. And then so we're making better choices. It becomes a lot easier to make those cuts. But if you think that you're gonna go from eating 400 grams of carbs a day to eating 50 grams of carbs a day, like, that's gonna be rough, and then it's probably not gonna be a lasting change. Some people do really well on low carb and ketogenic diets, and if you're one of those people, then that's great. You know, and then that's probably what I would advise. But most people I've encountered do not do well when they cut their carbs extremely low. And that touches on another point where, you know, it has to be specific to you. It has to be something you can do. Now, if you're cool with not having a lot of fats in your diet, then you can have more carbs. If you're cool with not having a lot of carbs in your diet, then you can have more fats. You can change things up. You can find ways to manage what you're doing. You know, that is why I am a huge proponent of flexible dieting, because it is flexible. I'm actually in the middle of a contest prep right now. Some days I eat Pop-Tarts. I eat waffles just about every day. But Pop-Tarts I eat for pre-workout, and I have to give up other things to be able to fit them in. And then I just realized I just eat the Eggo Nutri-Grain waffles because they're a little bit lower in fat, and so they're easier to work into my numbers. I use a sugar-free syrup, cinnamon, and something I've been getting down on lately is it's the dehydrated peanut butter. So it's really low fat, and it's really a lot lower calories than regular peanut butter. And so that allows me to work it in and actually be able to enjoy something that has that taste. So, you know, just remember, if you're trying to do something and you want to diet and you want to lose weight and we want to make changes, then that's awesome. But just take small steps, because just like a healthy weight of weight loss is maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week for most individuals, when we're making lifestyle changes, which is what it takes to keep the weight off for a lifetime, you know, we want to make those same small, steady changes so that we can continue to improve our health and our health habits. So, you know, that was really what was on my mind today. So hopefully it, you know, made a difference for somebody and somebody got something out of it. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.